Hey y'all. Don't mind me, I'm just doing dishes and all that stuff. Hold on. Almost dropped my phone in the water. That would not have been good. My case may be waterproof. My phone, I don't know, but I don't really want to test that theory. There we go. Trying to make food for dinner. But I don't really know what exactly to make because I need to go get some more food. But I just figured I would hop on here and I guess just say I'm still living. Somehow. I don't exactly know how. I mean, when you're me and you unfortunately get sick, as in vomiting, throwing up, puke, whatever you want to call it, 4 times a week. I should say 4 days, at least 4 days a week, every single week. Yeah, it's not fun. I don't recommend anybody do that. I don't know what is causing it. I've been to what's called a ear, nose, and throat doctor. They basically shoved a really fancy camera that records stuff in through my nose down to my throat, just above my vocal cords. Still trying to figure out why I'm throwing up. I'm supposed to see a specialist in January. I may have to go what's called under anesthesia, which for those of you that may or may not be familiar with that or have heard of that, or maybe you've never heard of it, basically they would put me under some type of gas or liquid. Basically it would make you go unconscious for, well, it depends on the situation, really. And usually it's okay. A lot of times, like if you have to go to the like emergency room and you do like in this case, basically to my understanding, which I'm not a doctor, so I don't fully know fully exactly how it works. I'll know more closer to my appointment date, but to my understanding, basically they would put me under anesthesia, in gas or liquid form. I don't know, it kind of depends on the situation, and use what's called a scope. So it's basically just a fancy camera thing that well, there's a lot of different types. So when I went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, it kind of looked like a water, oh my god, what do they call them? Water flosser? The thing is that people have, I have one too. Instead of using floss with the string, it's basically a floss thing but with water instead of the string, if that makes sense. But with the little camera attached to the end of it, that was the kind that my ear, nose, and throat doctor had. So basically she had I don't know if she was a nurse or what exactly she was. Basically I had to push down one side of my nose while keeping the other one open. They put a kind of like a spray thing in. There was a mix of lidocaine, which is basically a numbing thing, and a antihistamine, which is basically like, it's like an allergy pill. If any of you guys take that or are familiar with stuff like that, just in this case, instead of a pill, it was like a spray. Um, Basically, I had to push down one side of my nose while keeping the other side open, with the stuff. Breathe in a couple seconds, and then repeat the process on the other side of my nose. The camera, again, it was just like a little, I think they call them water picks now that I think about it. It basically looked like a really big, like, like the base of a water flosser thingy, but with like a really long, flexible, movable, like section with a little tiny camera on the end of it, that she could move. The doctor lady could move it, and she did, and it felt weird. Basically, what she did was she went in the right side of my nose, and I was awake for this. So the lidocaine and antihistamine basically makes it where I couldn't feel it. So I was awake for the entire thing. I couldn't feel like it go in. It just felt like pressure. But it didn't really like feel like painful or anything. It was just like somebody was pushing on like one side of my face, kind of. But she basically went in through the right side of my nose, up into what is called my nasal cavity, so like behind my nose, which connects to your mouth. I didn't know it did, so I learned something new, because I didn't know that your nose and your mouth are connected at the back of your throat. So basically she put the camera up my nose to the back of my nose where it meets my throat, down just above my vocal cords. So I could see my vocal cords. Kind of weird, because the way that it works is when you talk or like make any sound, it closes. Your vocal cords close. I had always thought that they had to be open for sound to come out. No, it is the other way around. I also didn't know that till that appointment. It was very interesting seeing my vocal cords as I was like interacting with the doctor. It was weird, honestly, because I have never seen the back of my throat, like even with a flashlight. If I look in a mirror and I try to see the back of my throat with like a flashlight, I don't see, like, you don't get to see the inner workings of, how your vocal cords work. Even the back of your throat. Like, your vocal cords are like, the best way I can describe it is if you put your hand where the bottom of your neck meets your like upper body, that's about where your vocal cords are. Like if you speak or like sing or whatever, and you push your hand gently, don't hurt yourselves if you do this. I'm doing it right now, at the moment. But if you gently push a little bit, and you feel that like vibration, if you're like talking or whatever, that's your vocal cords. So your vocal cords are essentially like pushing, like it closes, so it's open when you're not, like, I'm trying to think of what the best way to explain it would be, because I'm not a doctor, so I can't be like, oh yeah, this is how it goes. Like if you took a jar, an empty jar, and you like put the lid on it, imagine the top of the lid is like closed. That's what your vocal cords are like when you speak, sing, whatever. So it's air going from your lungs through your like muscles of your vocal cords, and like essentially vibrating them, which is kind of weird to think about, but kind of interesting. So the opposite of that, so like if you don't speak or you don't sing or whatever, is like you take the lid off the jar and it's completely open. Like you can put your hand in it and all that stuff. That's how your vocal cords are when you're, I think they call it at rest. I don't know. There's a word for when you speak and like sing and stuff. Um, for your vocal cords like vibrating. There's a proper word for it, but I don't know. But like when you don't speak or sing or whatever, like your vocal cords is basically just like an open jar. Like like a jar without the lid. It's kind of interesting to think about. But yeah, it's been a very long process. I have been throwing up since not January. Oh my god. Uh I'm thinking it's December and it's not. I've been throwing up since July of last year. So July of at the time of recording this, July of 2023 is when I started throwing up. It is now December, almost November of 20 no, November, almost December of 2024. So a little over a year. But I just wanted to hop on here and I guess say happy holidays if you celebrate Thanksgiving or if it's another holiday or whatever for your religion or where you live or whatever. It's almost Thanksgiving here in the US. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and explain where I've been.